You know, it's just like when Honda loses, you know, after a Honda engine gets so old, they lose the patents on it, they no longer have it. And China can reproduce that knockoff Honda. Yep. And they come in 99 of them will grade out of 100, but one of them's just been all of them gone. On there yet? Yeah. It's 6 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Seeing as you have the roll on.
Yes, sir.
And we will move on to approval of the agenda. Someone want to make that motion, please?
Make the motion to approve consent agenda.
The whole agenda.
Or the approval of the agenda.
Correct item 2.
Make a motion to approve the.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? I have one little thing. We might need to move Todd up if things get going too long, but I think we should be going fairly quick. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And passes. Now we can make a motion to approve the consent agenda. There we go. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the consent? Anybody wants to pull anything out? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Carried. Anyone here for the Blackduck Forum? Supposed to ask 3 times. I think we'll skip that part. Mike, I'm on to you.
Yeah. So you guys should have in your packets there a few different quotes from Minnesota Pump Works. I know I was looking through them on the PDF there. I don't know if they really made it in there right, or if my computer was just being goofy. So I'm gonna go through them real quick here. You have two larger quotes, one of 21,269 and the other of 23,068. The difference in price there, the 23,000 one is three-phase power, and the 21,000 is single-phase power. Everything is moving away from single phase. Everything's using the three-phase. A lot of the problems that, excuse me, we have with our pumps plugging and clogging, with one, we've got a lot of rags that end up down the sewer. And when I say rags, I mean flushable wipes, things of that nature that they're flushable, but they really aren't deal. So with single phase, the pump motors start slower. And when they start slower, it gives them that amount of time for that stuff to just kind of wind itself up and get stuck in there. With the three phase, it hits faster, it sucks them through. So now this is for 4th Street, so that we're all on the same page. 4th Street is running right now at 50%. We have one pump that's down and out, can't be repaired, doesn't make sense to repair it. We have one that's in there that is limping along. We've had to pull it and kind of work our butts off to get it put back together and in before we ran into a situation, but we need to do something there. We need to do it relatively quickly. We have this money available that we've been talking about. This is going to be where that money needs to go. Yes.
Just so it's a point of clarification for the attachments, I left the original 3 quotes that you had provided on the draft in the packet. And then I have the ones from today. So the phase 1 and the phase 2 quotes are only in correlation to the 4th Street. quote
Yes,
from the draft,
yes.
Mike?
Phase 1 and phase 2 power, or excuse me, single phase and 3-phase power only relate to 4th Street. And you did have a prior 4th Street quote, and that was substantially less. The reason for that was they didn't put the panel. The control panel wasn't put on that quote like it should have been. So that quote can just be thrown completely out.
That
Don't
was
even
the
worry
one
about
that
it.
was 14,066.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, I needed that
Yeah,
clarification.
they hadn't, and I apologize, I should have made that a little clearer,
That's okay.
but they hadn't put the control panel on. So that's that difference in price there. You have one more quote in there that is for 2,870 for a high tide monitoring unit.
The very last.
Okay, that one ties in with 4th Street. When we're doing 4th Street, in fact, I think it even says at the bottom of the quote, yeah, the amount of money if we were to do it later, what we're saving now. Currently, the 4th Street lift station, and really all of our lift stations, but the 4th Street lift station has an audible alarm when it's not working. It's just kind of a buzzer that brr, sits there. And, you know, we check it every morning, we drive through and we check over there. But if something goes wrong with it, we don't know. We really, tell you the truth, we rely on a woman that lives on the street up there that smokes. Goes out every so often and has a cigarette. If she hears it, she calls one of us. We'll fix it. This is the system that we've been slightly talking about over the last year with moving to an electronic way of being able to monitor. If there's ever a high water alarm, a low water alarm, or a power outage, it will call me and I can monitor it from my cell phone. That's only $2,870 for that lift station. To me, it kind of seems like a no-brainer, but I wanted it to be in there so you guys can take a look at it. Now the other ones, there's 2 other quotes. One is quote 1437 for $4,066.88. That quote is for the main lift station. It's to essentially bring it back up to where it should be. It's not revitalizing the structure. There are stainless steel rails in there that we use for sliding or guiding, I should say, our pumps up and down with the chain fall system. As you can see, stainless steel pipe is pretty expensive. There's that, there's some chain, the J hook, obviously, and then labor. This is something that absolutely needs to be done too. Okay. The next one, 1438 for 3,756. Pretty much the same thing. If you look at the stainless steel piping and then the labor. Again, something that absolutely needs to be done. If those pipes deteriorate, rot out, then we really have no way to guide our pump down and to seat it into place.
Okay,
And again, this all falls back to what we were talking about with that money that was coming in, how we were going to be allowed to spend it. This absolutely falls into that easily. So, and I had the grand total.
I have it now. If I'm understanding you correctly, we would still do quote 1437 for the main lift station, quote 1438 for the DNR lift station.
Correct.
We would do phase 3 from 4th Street lift
Correct.
station. That's quote 1500. No, I'm sorry,
1497.
1497.
Yep.
And then we'd add the alarm, which is quote 1500.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 33,761.
And what is the total that we are getting?
All total,
Yes.
93,000 and some change.
So we're well under that.
Correct. But
And how much? Yeah.
But there's some already set aside budgeted wise, so we should be, as long as we stay somewhere around that 60,000 for sewer, sewer upgrades. With these, we'll still stay within that amount that we're gonna get from American Rescue.
So this again is lift stations. We had talked, if you all remember, about
It was last fall when I first said
Well,
this is what we should be using. them
yes.
for. Yeah.
Yes, but we also talked recently about putting meters
Right.
in out on the irrigators. So, and I haven't heard back. My guy actually has retired, so I'm waiting to hear from the new guy now. He had some health issues from Core and Main, so I'm waiting to hear back. That's who we get all of our water meters and stuff through. I'm waiting to hear back from the new guy on the price, because that'll be 4 meters out there at, I don't know where they're at right now. Honestly, ballpark 7,000-8,000 a piece. That's my guess.
So the only question I guess I have for consideration is, if we do all this, will we still have enough to be able to years on the console?
Well, you said that we can use around 60, 65.
Don't
This
think
is,
those pumps will go over.
this is at 33.
Yeah.
So I mean, that leaves us 30,000 for that. That shouldn't be a problem at all. And this has to be done.
Yeah.
You know, we've gotten by for years as it is out there, skirting around it. Do I want it fixed out there? Absolutely. But does it have to be? Kind of a gray area. This has to be done. Absolutely has to be done. Otherwise, we're gonna end up with backed up sewer.
Go ahead, Don.
So we were talking earlier this year about not doing your lift. Remember we talked about that?
You know what? We've been all over the place with whether we're gonna do it. We're gonna wait because of the PER. This can't wait.
So if we do these, are these gonna be upgraded enough or new enough that, so when we get them all together, all of them, they're all gonna be the same? We don't have
So
to go back and retro.
that is actually a great question. And one good thing, I guess, about this is that 4th Street is our smallest lift station we have. Well,
Or newest.
technically the motel is, but that's really not quite a lift station. It's more of just a pump. This lift station, being as small as it is, isn't like the other ones that we have. These are a couple of 2-inch grinder pumps. We've got, 4-inch pumps on the others. It's a whole different animal. But with that said, once we do this and we decide, okay, we like this radio system that we're going to use, when we move forward with the PER, we can spec that out and say that this is what we want from a contractor. You all have to bid on this. It needs to be this system. Give us your lowest bid. We don't have to just throw our hands up and say, okay, whatever's the cheapest thing around is what we're gonna take. Follow what I'm saying?
Well, that's what we kind of have. Every one of them are different.
Right, and that's been from years of doing one in, let's say, 02, doing the next one in, let's say, 14, things have changed substantially since then. But when we go to do this whole project at once, it's a whole different ballgame. Everything can be the same at that point. You follow with what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And 4th Street will fit in to that.
So that's the main thing. 'Cause I remember before you said we're not gonna do any until because the cost, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and we were looking at, you know, the West End lift station over there,
Yeah.
which is one of our vital lift stations. And, you know, we've gone back and forth, and even Kurt has wavered a bit on whether we should or shouldn't do that right now. This has to be done.
Yeah, the quotes for the main and the DNR lift station, these are very needed updates slash repairs.
All right,
So is there still gonna be money left over? Oh, I think out of that money, you remember it.
Yep, and that's gonna be, I don't know until I know, my prices on those meters for out there. If there is money left over, we'll absolutely do it. If there's not, there's not, and we'll figure out a different way to do it.
The other alternative is just to partition up the city in quadrants and televise and jet
Right.
a quadrant of the city every year and budget the water and sewer funds.
And that's kind of what we've been doing and trying to do. It's just been trying to get caught up that we haven't been able to do that. So it will get there, whether we can get it out of this lump sum of money or not. Of course, I'm gonna try to squeeze it if I can. So I guess what I'm asking then is to approve these quotes as they're written tonight.
okay, can we do that with one council motion for one total amount, or do you want 3 separate?
No,
Motions.
what I would recommend you do is do it in one motion. Especially as it pertains to the American Rescue Act funding. Because we want to make sure it's clarified where that funding is gonna come from. So if I may, I would entertain a motion to approve quote 1437, 1438, 1497, and 1500 from Minnesota Pump Works, and utilize the American Rescue Act funds to pay for those services and repairs.
I'll move to approve quotation for quote for 1437, 1438, 1497, 1500 for the American Rescue funding for our lifts.
Okay, Nick? There's your motion. Do I have-
Second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion on this to the motion?
I have one. I thought I saw, Mike, on one of these quotes that came through today. Items on the back page said items quoted for repair and left over 30 days with other decision repair will be discarded. Okay, never mind. I thought there was something else.
Okay.
Disregard. I thought there was other things not included in the quote.
All right,
Read it too quick.
well, there's no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. They're done.
I appreciate it, guys. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to report. It's extremely wet out there. We've gone over this. My ponds are, I have to cross my fingers and just pray it doesn't rain anymore. Stage of things. I'm not sure what we're gonna do out there. We started taking some stumps out at the park and widening that road like we talked about. Trying to work on that. Done some street sweeping around town. I had a guy out at the golf course for quite a while, helping Misty out there, getting that going. Got a water leak we're gonna be repairing tomorrow. Other than that, the The grader is up at Frontier right now. We've already done a few things and that hasn't seemed to work yet, so we're still just trying to figure out a way to make it work, doing what we can. The dump truck was up there recently for DOT inspection, ended up having to replace a lift spring and a couple other things that really ate into the repair budget quite a bit already, so don't be surprised when you see that go over what we gotta do to the grader here. I did have the county come in and grade one time for us to try to get it straightened up. The frost was still coming out, this rain, everything's just a disaster. So we're trying to do what we can when we can with all that. I got lots of other little small stuff, but no sense in boring you with that. Is there anything you guys have for me?
Just
Good. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
get the work session. Conduct.
Nice little autograph for you guys again. It's in pink because it's April. I don't know. It's yeah. Or it's not. It just shows you that through the years, April is a month all by itself. That the addition is working. We are increasing sales. The weather has kind of played a havoc in our off sale numbers for the month of April compared to last year. People aren't drinking cold beer when it's still freezing at night, so we're expecting hopefully a land crazy May anyway. And I just wanted to go over a couple things. We went to the MMMBA conference. In your packets, there's the presentation that I presented down there. We did not win the award because there was a lot of competition at that point. But they were very impressed with what Blackduck was able to do. And with our new update and our off sale, they were like, that was really well needed. Some of our directors and the MBA members have been up here to Blackduck and checked out our off sale, and we're like, wow, you have a lot of stuff in this little area. And so they were impressed with what we had done. And just a quick overview, the reasoning behind the addition. I mean, I know you guys are new, some of you guys are new, and some people are less than positive about it. But when in 2019 we put an auto fry in, and the total cost of that was like $4,900. That first 3 months, we sold 2,327 orders of French fries with a gross revenue of $4,000. So with those kind of numbers, I mean, it was obviously a needed thing. And an auto fry is not made to put that much food through, right? So, there was a lot of issues with that. So that's like a very small number that had the sitting council convince them basically that this was a needed addition. And we are selling tons and tons of food out of there. Anticipate a really wonderful summer. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a background. So like if somebody approaches you and says, well, how's it doing? How's it going? Yes, we are increasing sales. And yes, April wasn't as great as I really wanted it to be, but the weather was not really great either. So we went to the conference. I just wanted to give you a couple things. They give us samples of stuff. I brought some, you guys take it all. I don't, yeah.
Want to bring it back?
Well, the vendors this year, usually we get one bag of like samples. I was carrying around 3 of them. I'm like, well, this is crazy. But yeah, so they want to get their product out. They had a record number of vendors there this year. Obviously the 2020 debacle. And everybody wants to get into the seltzer and get into low carb, keto, gluten-free, vegan. Yes, it's, I mean, truly, the trend is going. But there was some, just a couple interesting facts, and I won't be like, but, that beer inspires 61% of trips to Minnesota liquor stores. So, and that's like, so when they come in and you sell the wine and you sell the spirits, that's your opportunity to upsell, because most of the time they're coming in for a case of beer for dad and mom needs something, right?
Because that's
Well, that's kind of what the guy, he said, he said, that's where you're.
Yeah, already.
So anyway, and the trend is, so COVID didn't make these things happen, it just made it happen faster. So online ordering and delivery was something that 5 years ago, the alcohol industry was like, yeah, right, that's gonna happen. But it is, curbside delivery, DoorDash, you guys ever heard of DoorDash? Okay, so now there's companies out there that specialize in delivering alcohol. Because obviously they have to be 21, you know what I mean? You have to be selling it to a 21-year-old, and that liability, they take it on anyway. That isn't available in Blackduck yet.
I said I have questions, but okay.
No, and that's it. Yes, there's municipals that did it during COVID. What allowed it was the governor's to-go alcohol. You guys all remember that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what allowed it to happen in Minnesota. Other states have been doing variations of this for years because they don't have that. Right. Unusual places are supporting this, like your Mad Sad. Hey, get it delivered. Do not drive if you need another 12-pack. I mean, which is, they're trying to get the upside on the thing. So, and the next red hot category is ready to drink. So a already made Manhattan, already made margarita, already made, and you have it in the can. And so I have invested some of our money into that, especially with non-glass containers, because whether they're going ice fishing or whether they're going to the lake, they don't want bottles. They're getting better. The ready drinks are getting better. Because earlier that would be like a mudslide, maybe out of a plastic bottle is what you could get, right? Not super great. Individual servings, yeah. So
are you thinking that our off sale will be assembling them with our one shots, or are they, do you get them from
Nope,
distributors?
they are it's a new category altogether. It is they're getting into the pre-made drinks. Millennials do not want to buy 5 different bottles and try to assemble it to make it taste good. They want it to taste good. Previously they would do wine-based items like this. So it just was like kind of blah. Now they're coming out with actual drinks, like, okay, let's say ranch water, which is a low calorie, but it's like got a guava and like a lime, okay? So it does taste like a tequila, like it does have that flavor. They're actually using real juice flavors, real juices, real vodka, real gin in these. And then, yeah, so the distillers are coming in, and it used to be primarily from your beer companies. So,
I've seen pictures of these where they're like in a plastic cup with a lid and a straw, and all your alcohol's in there, and you just grab them out of, like, you went and got
the cooler,
right?
yep, and that's,
Everything's there for you, you bring it home and you do it.
yep,
So
What do
that,
you need?
And so they're not promoting drinking and driving at all?
Well, we could do that with a 12-pack now.
Well,
Well, and
know, but
I know what she's saying, and that is in response to this need. But like the spirits people there were like, yeah, we see bars doing this because it's a need. So, hey, we want to sell it, make it easy for them. And we want to get into this cash. But she's right, there was bars that did that. I didn't think that was necessary. You know, places that have a lot of foot traffic. Awesome idea. You know, Mira Lake and, you know, Mira place with lots and lots of foot traffic. Everybody drives here. We're ways from other things, but yeah, that's in the same category that they're, yeah, looking for it already made up. Or they can throw it in the cooler. So I'm looking towards fishermen camping, that kind of thing. Do you have any questions for me regarding any of it? Thank you.
Who did win at the conference? Shonda, do you remember?
Not Lakeville, hang on, what store was it? They built a brand new one. That they were actually in an old firehouse and they built a new one. I can't remember which one. But they built a brand new facility that was like about 4 times the size of our whole place. And then they took the history of the fire hall, because Mimi was in the back of the fire hall, and they took the fire hall over, old brick building. And then they took just pictures of that, of their fire department, 1936, 19, whatever. Blew them up, put them on vinyl, and put them all the way around their bar, or all the way around their off sale. A whole bunch of other stuff like that. Had people, like the firefighters that were alive during this, come in and sign the wall. And so, yeah, very inventive and very, yeah. So anyway, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Shonda. Doing okay with time yet?
Yep.
Okay. Misty,
Howdy.
I would like to extend a public apology to you for not sending your grow and shell. I completely forgot it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that one. I forgot.
Forgiven. It was a good, it was a success. We had just under 50 people and I planned on 50 people. After I paid for the expenses, I think I cleared probably $500. So that was good. I was pretty worked up that day with anxiety, worrying about it. The next one is coming up, I think the 27th. So it's the last Friday of every month. So we'll do it again, and I'm hoping it just gets better from the first one. We had a bunch of volunteers kind of helping, so I didn't have to pay much out. Yeah, so that we're hoping to open on the 16th is kind of what we're shooting for. No promises just because of the weather, but it's kind of the plan there. Plumbers finished kind of again today. They came back and installed the 3-compartment sink and the hand washing sink downstairs. So I need to get that inspected. They added my mop sink that I needed to have. I ended up getting a new pressure tank down there because the old one was bad. So I've had a few little surprises. What else? Still planning to do the ducky race on the 21st. I'm still trying to sell tickets for that. If anybody knows anybody who wants to buy tickets for that. And then I have the first scramble on the 21st also, which is weather pending also. Hopefully it doesn't keep raining. And the kids have been out. The Kelly Northam team was there a couple times now, and the Blackduck team has been there. The Blackduck team went from 7 kids, I believe, to 27 kids. So they have quite a big team this year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of nice to have the kids out, seeing them go. Lots of people checking the creek for walleyes and suckers. That's been quite the.
They go in that quick, huh?
I have cameras all over.
It's interesting.
Keep going. Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, you guys have any questions for me? Anything I'm missing that you were wondering? Staff is back. I just ordered, oh, my So the last meeting I had told you guys I was gonna do an employee kickoff and then I canceled it twice.
Yep.
I am having it Sunday, it's coming Sunday. So get the staff back and get everybody kind of, I think a lot of people have been wondering what's going on. I haven't been super communicative to them because I didn't know either. I was like, I don't know how to call and tell these people to come back when I don't know either. So I have gotten in touch with everybody and I do have people scheduled for the 16th to start that week, so. The Sunday?
I knew my days and my dates mixed up.
It's the 15th.
Okay.
We got stools all over the place down there. If anyone's been down there, we've got a bunch of stools in for the kind of the new dining, like the new seating area for like tables and stuff. Tomorrow, I'm gonna go get the tabletops. We're gonna build them. And that's what I should mention. Mike kind of mentioned it. Chris has been down there slaving away. I can't thank him enough. And I have to thank Mike also for allowing it. I wouldn't have done any of this if it wasn't for Mike and Chris. They have made it all happen for me. So super indebted to them. I gotta get him to golf so I can like maybe give him a free membership. So, yeah, things are moving along. Any questions?
No, well, just on the liquor license,
Oh,
if that,
so it's, yeah, so this Wednesday, Christina mailed it to, the township. So this Wednesday, I believe at 7 o'clock is a township board meeting and they're going to discuss it there. And I plan on attending that meeting.
did you want to go, anybody else come?
If anybody wants to,
Go and attend, or?
as long as they're supportive. Don't come if you're not.
No, I don't want it.
I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go and I have a couple other Hines Township / golf members that are all giddy up about it and they all want to come with me. So,
Well, I don't want to turn it into
no,
a clash of
no, and I don't either.
boards.
No, I
Right,
think
no,
just
that
some of
would
them
be-
are just misinformed or just, have some questions and kind of want to know what my intentions are with it, I guess. And I just
Sure.
don't want that to be misrepresented. So I'm gonna go to that on
Okay,
Wednesday.
then you've got it under control.
Yeah, I think so. Hope so.
Doing a good job.
Thank you.
What's the update on? So I did put the mower in underneath Misty for consideration so that we can move forward with that. As you may remember at the work session, we discussed moving forward with this. So I requested an actual invoice from Corner Garage to make an action on, and this is for the 07. I think that's the newest one, yeah. And then the subsequent resolution for consideration in my section to fund that more.
I seen there was sales tax on it.
Yes, that's because your golf course, your park, and your liquor store and sales tax. Anything under the city general fund. is not.
But why would that be different? City owned.
They are different.
Golf course.
They are different because they look at as a business even though the fund is still,
Even though it's
everything
not-
Shonda does in the liquor store is sales.
You have to do that big. Or even if it's city owned, if it makes money or.
If there's an exchange of goods, yeah. The general funds don't get charged sales tax.
Because those are already taxed.
Right, we pay sales tax on items for water and sewer as well.
Was talked about this a long time ago about we pay sales tax. And we said, no. So sell it to the city.
Well, I'm telling you, you do.
don't know how it works out. All right. So you would like a motion on that? If we
Yes.
would like to approve this purchase?
I'll move to approve the purchase for the 1600 turbo for the golf course.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this motion and second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None passes. Any idea when did that dropped off, Christina? Have you talked to Kevin? Or-
No, I'll report Misty and
Okay,
Who's in report to me? These?
I will.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know anything about it.
You know,
Okay.
okay.
can't follow anything much right now, anyway. So.
Sound fair?
I know he said, what did he say that, well, he'll bring it when it's green out there? Well, it's green,
Yeah.
but pretty squishy.
That's another thing I forgot to mention, because they're starting that, I don't know, something with the irrigation system too, out there.
Yes. Yeah, and the council did see those quotes in the fall.
Okay.
Into that, starting working on that.
Okay. Library. If everyone's done with golf course, Misty, you have anything else? Okay, we'll move on. Library.
Library, not much to tell. I've just been, Christina was great and sent some stuff, so that we can like present to the board.
Okay,
I don't have everything, I don't have Mike's estimates either.
I've been so busy, I don't even have them.
Yep, so we're still waiting for those things to be compiled and we'll go.
okay.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right.
I see that they're advertising for board members.
Yes, they are moving forward with the Friends of the Library so that they can go to nonprofit status. So they are
Something
working hard to do that.
needs to happen.
It does.
How many seats do they have?
I believe there's gonna be 3. But don't quote me because I don't know who's gonna move over. Some of them talked about leaving and moving over to Friends of the Library and giving up posts, but the last, I think there was only 3, the last.
Because that'd be two different boards.
They're 2 different entities, yes.
The library board versus Friends of the Library.
Yep. And the Friends of the Library, from my understanding, is they would be running the events for the library that the library board normally does, the fundraisers,
Sure.
the advertising, that kind of thing, and I think the financial stuff. So, and then the library will run the library.
Anyone interested in sitting that board should contact me.
Kelly. And there was some stuff on Facebook that got posted as well.
Not that I need another project, but is there, is there rules that we should be following? Can't be on the Friends of the Library, can't if you're on the city council or if you're in the.
That would have to be looked up.
I would be careful with that. Otherwise, if that's too much between yourself and Lori or another council member and Lori serving on those boards.
It's easier to donate your time if you sit on the board. All right, thank you. Where to you, Christina?
Well, then I will defer to Shannon. You're up, sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
They bring you to talk. So. Good evening, everybody. First off, I would like to thank you for this consideration. And also, for the donation you made last year to last year's national trip. So y'all have the public funds for request, right? So basically, what we do is we can take 7 kids to the nationals tournament if they qualify. We've identified that we will more than likely have 7 kids that will qualify for nationals this year, which is an awesome feeling. So we're getting out ahead of the game and trying to get our fundraising before we actually need the money this time. So as you can see, the team registration is $425. The individual registration, so everyone who shoots for the team can also shoot as an individual if they pay a separate individual fee. So since we're there as a team, we have them shoot as individuals as well. Last year, Leonard Long came in 159th place in the nationals. I don't know if you know, but just in Minnesota alone, there's like 17,000 shooters. There is now 24 states in the United States that do this league. So when we go to nationals, there's people from New York, Florida. About the only things we haven't seen is Alaska and Hawaii. But when you go there, you see plates from all over the place. Aiden's been there twice. Anticipate he's going to make the trip this year again, except he's going into the military, and his date is like the date that we go to nationals. So unfortunately, he made should have waited till fall to go in, but it's okay.
Well, once you sign your name, you kind of stuck.
That's-
Can't really go back on that one.
That's right. And then the other money on there is for gas and food stipends. Now, we don't always provide that. Simply because if we can't raise the money, we can't provide it, you know, so then it's up to everyone else. Pay for their own gas and their food and whatnot to get out there. We do, so if you're not aware, our high school shooting team has a booster club, their own booster club that does our fundraising for us.
Just to clarify, that's not part of the.
Correct.
Booster.
Correct. So the
They
one
have
thing
their
the boosters do not do is they don't do our nationals fundraising. When they do our fundraising, it's for our fall season and our spring season. And that's for the kids to participate in those 2 seasons. Anything like nationals, or if we were to qualify to go to the actual, what is it,
HSL.
at HSL state shoot down in Prior Lake, you have to qualify to do that. We did that one year in 2017. It was a fun trip. But that you actually have to qualify for, and so those types of things, that's when we come to like some of the places we're asking for money from are like Upper Red Lake area association will be asking the Blackduck Fire Relief for some money. Grand Rapids Youth Hockey. So that's basically from the Hoot and Holler, if you're wondering why we're getting money from Grand Rapids. As well as the North Home Bridge Runner Snowmobile Club. So it's not only is trap shooting an expensive sport, but with the fuel prices the way they are, this trip is probably gonna be at least 1/3 more expensive just in gas alone than it was last year. So any help that you guys can make, we would gladly accept. And again, I'd like to thank you for the consideration. Do you have any questions?
Does the school?
The school does not participate with any funds.
And the reason for that is,
This is a organization run through community ed. That's how our organization functions. There are several schools in our area that do Hilliard, they fully pay for their shooting programming. Unfortunately, here in Blackduck, there's fortunately and unfortunately, we have 32 kids on the team this year. In the spring, at an average of about $525 per kid to do the spring shooting. So you can see that's a lot of money to raise, $15,000. Which our booster club is great at. We have an annual banquet that we do a fundraise at. We have other annual things that we do, like the pancakes in the park during the backwoods bash. Yes, there's no school funds available for this program.
Just want to make sure the rest of some of the board members have been here and some not. They may
Right.
not understand that just because we put Blackduck High School trap team on here, that they think it's a high school
Right.
section.
The only thing the high school supports us with is their name. I don't know if some of you have seen our tent. You
Yes,
have?
I have.
It's and I'm sure you have, Christine. It's a fabulous homage to Blackduck High School and the Black City of Blackduck. Maroon and gold and black, and we put that up at every event we go to. Don't say anything? No? So not only is this trip about the shooting, it's the team, what do you call that? The team building that we do while we're there. Because the shooting only takes, say, 4 to 6 hours a day, but that leaves a lot of day left. We're down there for 4 days. We do things like we go to there's a I don't know what you call it, just a event park. We do batting cages, laser tag, driving range. It's all right there in one facility. Race car race. So we go there for half a day. It's a lot of fun, and the parents get involved. I mean, it's how we become a tight knit.
I see them following, I see them at all the fundraisers, the parents are there pitching in.
Yep. Do you have any questions for me?
I've asked.
Again, I'd like to thank you for your help last year and your consideration today.
What was the amount that we donated last year?
You were gonna ask me that. The only number I didn't have prepared for. I thought it was quite high. Shannon, do you have it?
I want to say, I don't have it, but we were looking at it, and I want to say it was like $1,262 and somewhere, and that was actually more than what we were asking for. You guys had identified some expenditures that we hadn't identified and went above and beyond. So in that, I'd like to thank you, because that allowed us to go deeper into keeping track of what the expenditures really are. So we do have a really good budget going forward for nationals. I don't know if I have the budget here total, but I want to say it was somewhere in the vicinity of $11,000. And I have in the past, this is just a little side note, looked into chartering a bus to go down there. And it was about $10,000 to $11,000.
It's
Yeah. And that was through Bemidji Bus Line with one of their nice charters, Basically, the biggest cost was the driver jump, because they can only, it's but yeah, it's a 16-hour straight drive if you drive straight there, so they have to, they have to pass off drivers. So unless somebody wins the lottery, that's probably not gonna happen.
Not those Karens, boy, they can drive 12 hours straight, right?
Well, we do it, I mean, we have made 3 trips there. If we We plan on going again this year, so it will be our fourth trip there. The only year we missed was the year they didn't have one, which was in 2020. You don't have anything further, then I'll leave you with my thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Consider.
Yeah, I do. I think we should consider making a donation to the track team. Anybody have an idea, number? We have 1,500. That's kind of where I was. You tack on your, 30% for fuel increase.
Motion for 1,600.
I'm gonna need a motion for that. and if you'd like
I'll
to
motion
make
to
one.
approve 1,600 for the Blackduck track team to go to Nashville.
Motion and a second. Is there anybody that wants to discuss this further? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Much appreciated.
Those are fun things. Now on to the not fun things.
Do you want to move?
We can move Todd right now.
There you are.
There's Todd.
We're gonna skip B and we're gonna move to C under the administrator's reports. So Todd has to do his presentation for the public
Great.
work, public safety facility.
Great. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, Todd.
All right. Yep. Coming in loud and clear. Thanks for having me remote again. I've got a couple Zoom meetings tonight, so it makes it a lot easier. Plus, we had a little weather down here this evening, so all is well. So in your packets, then we've got a pre-sale report. I looked at some of those dates, and wow, we've been working on this project for a while. It's the new Public Works and Public Safety Building. Okay. So these are temporary bonds. They're kind of like interim construction financing before the USDA will release their long-term loan. So, we've all been working hard, and staff especially, lining this all up with USDA for the 40-year affordable loan for you, but we need to issue a temporary bond ahead of that. So this one is for $1,965,000. And I know there's some city funds going into this too, but this is all we're going to be financing. And this matches the USDA loan at the end of construction. So we do have, there will be a couple loans at that point, one for $1,655,000 and then a subsequent loan in the amount of $310,000. So that adds up to this bond issue. And rural development, USDA has already obligated the funds for this, which is great because rates are going up a little bit. And so this is kind of somewhat locked in. It moves around a little bit, but I feel pretty good about getting this all kind of taken care of ahead of time. So they had obligated already for part of that in 2021 and then just here in March of 2022. So we're good there. And then there's lots of pieces to this bond issue. I know you all remember this. We held that capital improvement plan hearing back in 2020. And so that's one part of it. And the other part of this is going to be paid off by some water and sewer revenues, right? Because they're going to use the facility as well. So we don't have to do anything preliminary for that to gain state law, authority to issue a bond eventually. But we did have to go through some of that equipment process. And I know in February here in 2022 that we went through some of that to gain authority for the equipment part of this. So lots of components on this, and it all fits within all your debt limits, and nothing exceeds here. So we're all good. So this bond is, again, a very short-term bond. And so it's only for a year. And so I kind of throw out a question too. I hate to squeeze us in too much when we've got the authority to issue up to a 3-year temporary bond, but I know, we don't want to go out too far because the rate will go up a little bit as we just move out, but between 1 year and maybe 1.5 years, it shouldn't make any difference. And I guess I kind of asked Christina on this too, so I've got this bond issue maturing then on August 1 of 2023. So if we need some extra time, I was thinking maybe we could go out another 6 months with this too. Just something to think about as I keep talking here. Just because we don't want to redo this bond again, just for extra few months if we need it. I don't know what the construction schedule looks like. I know sometimes supply is hard to get, and from what I hear, it might move projects out a little bit depending on where they get their stuff from. So I just throw that out at this point. But the bond will be prepayable, without penalty or anything like that on any day after February 1 of 2023 already. So that won't be an issue. We'll still have that call provision, we call it, pretty short. And then the bonds will be we can call those in and convert it to the long-term loan anytime after that. So that's why I kind of go, well, maybe we should look about going another 6 months out, but that's something we can talk about. So we're looking at, this bond will be sold out in the market. It's fairly large, but it's short. And so we're going to go for, a bond rating still on this too. But, I think I will see if we can see if, local banks might be interested in this too, because it is short. Even though it's large, they might have some money that they need to invest for a short period of time. And that might be a good avenue to see if they're interested as well. So this will be all posted on our website and all that as we get closer to the bond sale. So Christina can just let me know what banks are out there that might be interested in it, just to kind of move them over to our website and they can kind of see what they need to do and when they need to do it. So I just always look to see if there's any refinancing opportunities, and there aren't in Blackduck, but rates are going up. So, you're right there with everybody else is, we shook the tree early on usually, and now we just have to wait it out, and hopefully rates won't just keep going up. Hopefully they'll level off at some point here. And you can invest the funds too after we close this bond, either with us or locally, wherever you invest the funds. But we can certainly do that over here for you too, just to kind of keep that in mind. And it's just pretty easy draws. You just kind of ask us for the money as you go, and we're off to the races. So we try to make that pretty easy for you guys. In the pre-sale report, there's a schedule for issuing the bonds. So it's going to kind of move along here fairly quickly. So tonight's the pre-sale, and we asked consideration for the council to adopt the little one-page resolution that's here for you to get us going on packaging this up. And for the bond sale then on June 6th is when I'd come back and show you what we've got. And then our estimated closing is June 23. So get all the money then, and like I say, you can invest it till you need to spend it. Just got a preliminary bond payment schedule on here with all the components on it. I've got a little graph that shows it's kind of a 30-year snapshot of the trend in interest rates. So yeah, they're going up, but they're still pretty cheap out there, relatively speaking, right? So we've all been spoiled with super low interest rates for quite a long time, and we're nowhere near where we used to be. So we're all good yet. Yeah, lock in as they go up, right? That's what I say. So yeah, I that's pretty much it for my presentation for the pre-sale report. I think we all know the path we're going here, and lots of hard work from everybody. And it'd be nice to see this thing keep moving and get funded and start construction, right? So I'll yield for questions from you folks. Otherwise, I don't know if you have any thoughts about just going another 6 months out, as far as, I don't know what the construction schedule looks like. I just don't want to squeeze this too much on the financing. So
Todd, we already had our pre-construction meeting with the contractor and the subs last Tuesday morning. And USDA was present for that meeting, and we have a 208-day construction time from the notice to proceed. So at this time, that brings us to early January 23 to have completion. So I don't know, I don't believe USDA is going to wiggle much on that date duration at all. So I don't know if going out another 6 months is going to assist much.
okay, no, that's good. Yeah, and then we can trigger the loan whenever you feel comfortable. They like to get it off their books as soon as possible, and if rates are moving around, it's probably best to lock and load, as soon as we can, and get rid of the short term and get into the long term. So yeah, sounds like we've probably got enough time then, the way it's structured right now. That's fine. Yep. Good. Any questions for the council at all on this? Otherwise, we will look for a resolution from you.
Okay. Hi, Joe, questions?
No questions on presentation? Okay.
Don?
Next question.
I don't remember hearing about this $310,000 loan.
That's the additional. We were originally approved for 1.655. And then when the bids came in higher than 2, we did our, meeting in the middle with the contractor and got them to come down, and we went up, and we were allowed to borrow another 300. Todd's calling it an equipment loan. I did a presentation. I told you guys this is how much more it was going to cost you, and you agreed to it.
Yeah.
Did that presentation. Mike helped me with the calendar here right after bids were open in January. So that was probably the February meeting. I did present that to you guys.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be moving forward right now.
No, I know there was more
Okay.
money. I know there was more money.
Yeah, okay,
I was here for that. But no,
okay, good.
I just had to get.
What you may be just a little communication issue with, Don, or understanding, is that it's a subsequent loan, if you will, to make that 1.9 number. Okay. The borrowers or the lenders need to name it 2 different things.
Yep.
Because of the statutes that govern the bonding. Does that sound right, Todd?
Yeah, I have to. So USDA, yeah, we've got the kind of the primary original loan, then we've got the subsequent loan for the cost increase. And then I have to try to figure out how we can gain state law authority, right, under statute for you to borrow, the extra. So that's right. I'm actually getting into the weeds in this temporary bond because USDA also wants to know, or needed to know too, where we're gaining authority for the additional and subsequent loans too. So yeah, it's all working out good. We've got it all wrapped around each other, given all the different restrictions on terms and things like that. And we've smoothed it out. So this all ends up being like two, when the long-term loan is triggered, it's two loans with level payments. So it worked out pretty nice.
If council needs a refresh, I can find that at the work session. Because I don't have those schedules with me to show you. the differences, but I know I presented these scenarios in February to you.
Yep, and then those don't really get finalized until the construction is substantially complete enough for USDA to say, yeah, we'll go ahead and take that out. I think the idea is if you're saving some money in the interim, then the loan would be less, right? If it stayed the same and you're putting cash in like you guys are, then it'll obviously stay the same as far as the amount. Yeah.
Okay. I'm good.
If there's no more questions, then we might as well move down to B and
Yes.
have that resolution completed and then talk about the excuse from the call.
Do I have a motion to approve 2022-12?
Motion to approve 2022-12.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any conversation on this? Before we proceed, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Resolution passes. Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys in June. Have a good meeting. Bye-bye.
So then if you're ready, I'll circle back to B.
Here we are.
Okay.
The
So
one little click.
just that easy. So I've provided to the council a draft resolution 2211 approving terms of an internal loan to fund the purchase of the rough mower that was just approved under Misty's report.
Yep.
This funding would come from the destatized revolving loan funding that we have in our reserve accounts for loans right now. What I have set up in the terms is that we did the same thing for the cart shed when it was done in 20. Is that it would be yes, I did. Okay. Did this twice, I'm sorry. So we did an internal loan starting first payments in 23 with what prime rate is right now for 10 years. Obviously, municipalities and governments, they pay twice a year. Once in February, once in August. So that's what we have. So cart shed, we could do the same for this as well. That would be the terms of this loan to repay the destatized account if the city chose to move forward with this resolution.
And the funds are coming from to pay the
The
loan.
destatized revolving loan.
Yeah, but to repay the loan, the revolving loan.
They
Fund.
would have to come from revenues from the golf course.
Okay.
The only other suggestion I had or could make is that the
That it not be repaid.
well, that's part of the resolution. It's actually stated in there that the city has the right to do that. That would be on page 2, section 205. I think it's 205. Yes, 2.05, the city has the right to do that with any of their internal loans if the resolution is approved. The only other consideration I thought of before providing this to the council is instead of a 10-year was to do a 5 because it's equipment,
That's not a bad idea.
but your annual payment
Then
went up considerably.
considerably.
So if council wants to see a different schedule, we can still provide that and make payment to Corner Garage after the June meeting. But
I guess if we can, since we can amend the terms of this,
you can,
we can approve this tonight and then take a look at what those
Yep,
payments would be.
yep.
Yeah, 'cause sooner it's there, the better off. We need a motion.
Make sure that your motion states that if the resolution is as I have it presented to you, or if you wish to change any of the terms which are highlighted.
Okay. We'll go with the way it is, the way it's written out right now.
With the 10 years.
Okay.
Okay.
If you wanna, well, you can make a motion to change it.
You know, I mean, what happens more, I mean, where else? We are.
But like, what you pointed out, you can change it back for that. They want to go to a 5 year. The kind of money that they're gonna have to pay that loan from.
It can be revised. We have done it before, Max, when the hardship was being built. The original resolution to approve the internal financing for that, there was a dollar amount because the estimates
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
came in differently than what they ended up being. So then the city went ahead and revised its resolution and they approved it in a different term note. So if you wish, approve it today. Ask for that 5 year schedule. I'll bring it to the work session for consideration. If you wish to change it, I can provide you a new schedule and the revised resolution at June 6th meeting. Either way, Turner Garage would still get paid.
Okay. Let's go with that. There's your. So we'll change the.
So it would be,
We're just changing the amount, just the 5 years, correct? So from 10 to
we're
5.
gonna pass this one with
With
the,
10.
with 10, with a statement saying that she's gonna bring in the stuff
Okay.
at the next one. Did I get that right?
Yes.
All right. And so that she would bring in the 5 year plan and payment schedule.
Further consideration.
Very good.
Lori, why don't you?
I will
Let's make that
try.
motion.
Okay.
Say what you said
I
again.
make that motion for resolution 2022-11 with the revision that Christine will bring in the payment schedule for a 5 year loan to our work session.
I have a motion. There's a second.
A second.
Thank you. Now, is there any further ways to confuse me on this? We're all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. I'm sorry, turn that around.
It's okay. It's a lot of conversation. I probably could have provided you both schedules, but
It's okay.
I think that would have probably confused things more. Um,
It's after 7.
sure. I just have a couple of dates for the council. May 11th, this Wednesday, is the next development core meeting at 11 here at City Hall. The next planning commission meeting is May 18th at 2 p.m. here at City Hall. As you may have hopefully received my email and requesting our work session for May to be on Tuesday, the 24th at 6 p.m. I tried, yeah, I know, red and bold.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It caught my eye.
May 30th is Memorial Day, and observation of that, the city offices here in City Hall are closed. June 4th is the next council meeting, is that one? Insert, I can add on this stuff.
That was June.
Let's see us in June.
June.
June
20.
6th, yes, June 6th on here, hang tight, hang tight. There, look at my calendar. Yes, I have a typo in my agenda. June 6th is your next council meeting.
Council meeting, okay.
Todd is right, I am wrong. And unless the council has any other questions for me, that's my report for tonight. have any council member or mayor reports, Max, otherwise I can go through the community events, and then I have something for the Blackduck HRA board to consider.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, go ahead, Christina. I guess I don't have anything that's.
And I know this is not complete, this is just what I have on my calendar, just as a quick reminder that duck race is May 12th at 4 p.m. No, that's not right.
It's May 21st.
When the ducks go in the river.
Same day as the spring chicken scramble.
Oh, and you know what? I'm a little dyslexic. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
May what, 24th?
21st.
May 18th is the next chamber meeting, and it's being held at Restaurant 71. Also, May 18th at 6 p.m. is Chamber's ditch cleanup event. The 21st is the citywide garage sale, chamber sponsors.
Now, for people to get on that map, they can call City Hall.
I'd prefer them just to email to me all of their details.
Okay. Be clear.
Correct. Also May 21st, I think that was it. Sorry.
But
Yeah,
this-
that was the 21st. Yeah, the citywide
Citywide.
cleanup
That morning.
from 8 to 10. If there's any citizens that want anything picked up curbside, they need to call that in the city. And we'll let them know that, so we know what address we're coming to.
Who's in charge of that? Who do you contact?
For which,
The cleanup?
the citywide one?
Yeah.
You can contact me, or I know Max is helping.
Yep, I'll be there that day. I don't know about the chamber ditch cleanup.
Those are, a lot of your chamber members volunteer for that evening. They do the 2 miles on 71. But the citywide cleanup is something the planning commission started a couple of years ago. We get volunteers and trucks and some trailers, and we ask the residents call in their address, and they'll have items at their curbside for us to pick up. And the listing of those items are on the Facebook event, posted on the 365 page.
I see no problem.
That's great. Why don't you partner with me next one? And that'd be awesome. And I hope I have this date right, Misty. The next Grill and Chill is May 27th.
That's the last Friday of the month, right? I haven't got to get one yet, but and I won't get that. Be out of town, but
And nobody had a problem with council work session being Tuesday.
there's plenty of. We got a nice big heads up.
Okay, as long
Not
as,
like it's the last.
just that way we can expect everybody to be there.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. With that. Okay, yeah, we'll just do the HRA on the same minutes, or is that another separate?
No, I think you're fine.
All right, let's handle the HRA business. right now.
So at the last work session, I presented to the council that there was an interested private party in that parcel down on 4th Street Southeast. With your direction, I did reach out to that person. I did look at the comps. I had a local real estate agent look at the comps for a parcel that size residential. And then I also consulted the county for valuations. Right now, that valuation is $3,100 according to county. So I presented that in email format to the private party, and the private party came back with counter offer. And I am now at the point where that the HRA board needs to make a decision if they'd like to move forward or not. It needs to be in the form of a motion so that I can have paperwork drawn up.
Okay. I see also in our HRA, the minutes from 2004.
Yeah, so I have
So,
to do some digging on that
Let's do
one.
some, yeah. How about a little bit of background story
You
here?
bet, you bet. So the reason I dug up the minutes was because I wanted to know, how the city and the HRA gained access to that piece of property to begin with. I know, Max, in conversation, that many times you said that the fire department used it for one of their burn downs when they could still do them. It looks as though it was donated. So they're Yep. So I got the copy of the quitclaim deed from the county to back that up. So there was no funds involved or hands, except for maybe a deed tax of $1.65 to the county to file it. So it's really just been sitting there without any property tax coming in or anything to that extent because the HRA has owned it. But that kind of gives you some perspective as to
Okay,
if the city was in anything financially.
now, yeah, we're not out anything on it. Kind of what we do with it. But the lot itself, I saw in the email, they said that they would be putting in a new well.
Yeah,
Or looking into the cost of a new well and septic system.
and that was how I understood the counter offer.
Is that lot big enough?
It's,
Needs,
yeah, I mean, it's all those ones down there are pretty small to begin with, but it is. It's the same size as the house basic to it, which is mom's property. And I believe that one, I don't think anything down 4th Street Southeast has services.
Okay.
It ends at, is that around?
ports and, I think we have city water too.
Well, they're talking about
No.
drilling a well here, right? Or wouldn't they be in that, within city limits, or is that us?
It's in city limit.
It's in city limits, but if there's a parcel that does not have access to services or access to a main, the planning commission considers hardship and gives a variance. That's happened before.
Okay. Well, that would be on them then.
Absolutely.
At that point,
Yes,
I would make a recommendation that we move ahead with the sale.
is that in the form of a motion?
That is my motion. I'm gonna make one tonight.
Four.
Hold on.
Okay, thank
You
you.
want me to read it for you next?
Yeah, I feel we should, I'm making a motion to accept the offer of $2,500 from Gloria Dalton for the sale of the property on 4th Street. Oh. Now, that being said,
You want a second?
yep,
I'll second. Oh, let me go about it.
discussion? Yeah, the closing costs of selling that. Who's eating that?
You want to amend your motion?
I think I need to amend my motion
Okay.
for them to, for the purchasing party to pay closing costs.
Not gonna split them. You want the buyer to pay all the closing costs.
All costs.
Yeah, it would, if we're not gonna get much revenue out of that, especially if they're not gonna hook up the city sewer and water, gonna be there a long time without it,
And it's already sat there
for a long time.
the last 18 years without making anything, so we're,
What I would give to have, well.
Well, there are services on that road. No city.
How far down is it? There's a house right next door to it. Is that all,
Mhm.
so well too?
any other discussion to the motion?
Oh, second to the minute. There you go.
Thank you. Now is there any further discussion to the motion as amended? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay, I need a motion to close the regular meeting and open.
Motion to close the regular meeting
And open.
and open
Close door.
the closed door.
Motion, so second.
Thanks, council.
You're welcome, thank you. Good luck.
Aye.
Bye.
John,